Great. Okay, so it looks like that's what a lot of you see. If you cannot see my screen, feel free to exit the webinar, enter back in. I am recording the webinar as well, so you can always refer back to it later on. So with that being said, glad to see all of you in here. My name is Lisa. I am here over at the marketing department. I'm the marketing manager for the Rhinestone World, but I am also our big silhouette enthusiast. I love the silhouette. I love designer edition, and I just love learning new things to teach you so you can really maximize what you can do with your silhouette for your business. So up here, I just have our website open. All of you have been to our website, correct? You all have seen it. We did update it in the last month. We have a new website. Oh, I got some oh yes. Oh yeah. I've been to the website. So, you know, we have a lot of these tutorials I want to pick out. We have all of these will link to our YouTube playlists that have tutorials. So if you ever are in need of any help, feel free to check that. Another thing I wanted to point out to you real quick is we do have our documentation, and it has all of these you know, general information for you. One of the things I use a lot is our cutter specs and recommended cut settings, and this will show what to put your settings on when you cut on your silhouette. So that's very helpful. I apologize in advance if my voice goes out. I don't know if any of you were in the lounge last week, but I had a cold last week, and my voice is the last thing to recover. So I'm going to power through it. I'm going to teach you some fun things. Today is a shorter webinar. I'm just going to go over a subtract feature and how to make layer design. So it won't be, oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm getting better too, Wendy. So I won't go through a whole lot, but if there are questions that you have about subtracting, or if there is something you really want to see, I'll be happy to go over it with you. I do have a webinar on Friday as well. I'm going to go over the knockout technique. So I'm going to try to, no pun intended, knock out a lot of these shorter webinars for you all that are more specialized on certain items in our Silhouette Designer Edition. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to, I always open my Silhouette on the wrong screen for you guys. So over here, I have our Silhouette Studio open. Like I said, I don't know if you've been in any of my previous webinars, but I am using the business edition. It's a little bit different than the designer edition. Are all of you using the designer edition, or are any of you still in Silhouette Studio and thinking about upgrading? Okay, yeah, so it looks like a lot of you are in designer edition. I'm still making, you know, learning about the business edition. I know that we're in talks about maybe we'll start talking to you guys about business edition. Have any of you followed the silhouette announcements that they've done today? Yes, yes. So there are some pretty exciting things. I know here at the Rhinestone World, we're really excited about it. Can't wait to get our hands on some of the newer items. For some of you who don't know, Silhouette's releasing some new cutters, but also they're making some big changes to their design software. I know that they're going to have some sort of mobile app that'll sync through the cloud. I don't know too much more about it, but I'm excited. Oh, the cutter's only 8.5 inches. That's why it's that price. That makes sense. But some cool software things. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the changes that they have to the Silhouette Studio software. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start with what we are all here for, and it's for our layered designs. So I have my studio open. I'm just going to close my recovered documents. So this will not be the intro webinar. So are all of you, for the most part, familiar with your designer edition? Have you had a lot of time to play around with it and to learn some of the features? So we've got some yeses. Yes and no. Yeah, I think a lot of us are yes and no. I think there's so much that you can do in Silhouette Studio. It's learning something every day. I feel like I'm learning something every day. So what I'm going to do is there's a couple ways that you can do some layer designs. I know that with FDC, some people will like to just cut it out solid and layer them one on top of each other. I don't particularly recommend that, because if you're doing multiple colors, then it can start to get a little bit bulky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, and I think I have a good shape in my library that I can use. I'll just use this heart. So one thing that I made very recently was I have, if any of you have been following our YouTube or if any of you are in our crafting group on Facebook, Crafting with Rhinestones and Vinyl, sometimes I do post pictures in there of things that I've etched on glass. And so some of the things that I like to do with glass etching because, you know, hold on one second, you all, one second. Sorry, if you ever hear me cut out, that means I've muted myself from a little cough. So one of the things that I like to do, and you know how we are at the Rhinestone World, when we find something we like to keep working on it until it's even better. So I started doing some glass etching, but I also layered it with my FDC vinyl. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a couple ways that you can use your subtract feature to cut out some layer designs for you to do either your etching or with your HTV. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this heart. And we're going to start off really simple. So we have our heart, and I want to put my name inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my text tool, and I'll find a good font in here. I like to use Dancing Script. We'll type in here, and I'll just type in Lisa. So here we have my name. I'm going to go ahead and make it larger. And don't forget, because I am using a script font, you do have this overlap over here. So if you look over here, I do have that overlap. I'm sure all of you know, but you do have to weld that. So I'm going to go over to our modify panel. I already have my name selected. And there we go. I just welded it. And one thing to remember when you do weld your, like when I weld my name, if you notice, the L and the rest of my name are not connected, as well as the dot on my I. So when you weld it, it won't group it right away. So you do have to go to Object and group this. And so now this is all together. So what I'm going to do is right now I have my name up here, and I'm going to fill in my name so you can see it contrasts a little bit. So now I have Lisa, and I'll go ahead and bring this down a little bit. I'm going to bring it to where I want. So now I have my name. I have Lisa on here. So one way that you could do it, the very simplest way is some people will go over to our cut settings. And do you guys already know how to cut out certain colors without moving anything, without even doing any of that? Do you guys know how to do that? It's one of the reasons why we recommend getting the designer edition. Okay, so some do. It looks like some are excited that they do too, and some you don't. So now I'm going to show you. So what we're going to do is we're going over to our cut settings, and we're going to hit advanced. And right now, I have this set to basically cut on FDC vinyl or even paper that it is not mirrored. So what I'm going to do is if you go over here to fill color, let's say I wanted to cut out this heart first. I would deselect the blue, and now my heart has the cut line around here. But if you notice, there is no cut line in here where my name is. So I will have this whole heart here. And then if I wanted to cut my name, then the cut lines will be around my name and only cut my name. Well, let's say I was doing something more complicated and I was using several different colors of vinyl. That's where it gets a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go over to my design space. I'm going to move my name out of here, and I'm going to use one of our 2-color HTV fonts. So that way we're working with 3 colors now. So I'm going to go over here and pick one. And if any of you have had a webinar with me before, you could probably guess what font I'm going for right now. I'm going for the paw print one. So dogs are probably my favorite animal. Yeah, Beth knew. Dogs are my favorite animal, and I love them so much that sometimes I get made fun of. But you know, you got to have something you're known for. Matt loves the sports, and I love my dogs. So and anchors. Yes, I love anchors. So have any of you used our 2-color HTV fonts before? Are any of you familiar with them? Okay, so yes and no. Our 2-color HTV fonts are pretty fun. We do sell them on our website, and what they're made is they'll look all caps, but what you do is you have a different fill depending on what case you're typing in. So the best way to show you is the best way to explain is I'm just going to show you. So first I'm going to type out my name in all lowercase. So it seems a little counterintuitive in a way because you know, when you write your name, you want to capitalize the first letter. At least that's how I was taught in school. So that's one of the things that can sometimes be confusing about it. But I'm going to go ahead and type in LISA, and I did that in all lower caps. And I'll go ahead and fill it for you. So now you can see the little paw prints in here. There's a couple different ways to get the next case. I always like to just copy it and paste it so that I have my name again. And I'm going to double click on here. And now that I have this green line around here, that means I can edit my text. So I'm going to go over here and select it. And now I'm going to retype my name in all caps. So LISA. And I see Nick's in here talking with some of you about my love of dogs. Nick is actually my husband. So if he seems like he knows me a little bit too well, that's probably a good thing because I did marry him. So just to let you all know, we don't have, you know, stalker employees here. Nick, I actually married him, so he is very much justified to say all these things. So here we have, if you look, this Lisa, we have it in our blue and our teal over there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab both of these and I need to align them right on each other. So I'm going to go up here to our align bar and I'm going to center it. So now you can see that you have a 2-color font right there. So it's a lot of fun. If you haven't done any of our HTV fonts, I highly recommend looking into getting them. We do our download sales pretty often. And so if you ever do get a coupon for that, I highly recommend grabbing one of these fonts. We have a lot of really great ones. We have polka dot, chevron, and so it's a fun way to get a good effect with very little effort. I mean, I probably did that in a couple minutes and I was stalling because I was talking. So it's a lot of fun. I really like it. The one thing to remember when you do your 2-color fonts that I actually just forgot to do is you need to make sure you group them because right now there's still 2 different fonts. So if I grabbed it and moved it, well, my computer is lagging, so you can just take my word for it. So go ahead and group these so that way you don't move them anymore. And so here we go. So now we have our Lisa here, and so let's say I'll show you over here. If we were to cut it by color now, parts of this we're going to have pretty thick because we have we're going to print, you know, we're going to cut this line, then we're going to cut our light teal, and then we're going to cut our pink. So I really like having everything flat. So what you can do is I'm going to go in here and grab my Lisa, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to put the second one over to the side because I'm going to need that in a minute. So over here we have our Lisa, and I am going to do an offset. It gives me just a little bit of a gutter space. So I'm going to go over here to offset, and I'm actually going to bring this in a lot more. I'm going to bring it in to maybe like 0.02. So it's very little. It just gives me a little bit of space. I'm going to hit apply. So now I have my offset right in here. Sorry, I need to grab this, Lisa. I know there's an easier way, but I'm just going to do it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and group this. So now I have my Lisa offset. I can bring this back on top of my heart. So offset you don't necessarily have to do, but I like to do it because it gives me a little bit of a safe space when I do put my vinyl down. So I have my Lisa, my heart selected. So I'm going to grab both of these, and I'm going to go over to my modify panel, and I think you might figure it out by now. I'm going to hit subtract using the subtract feature to create layered designs. So I'm going to go over here, hit subtract, and now we have our Lisa take it out. And so whenever you do subtract something, it does break up the larger image underneath it. So especially for this where I have these middle parts like the S and the A, I could just delete them, or right now I'm just going to go ahead and group them. And so I'm going to keep this heart together and keep these pieces in here in case I did want to make it larger or anything. So now we have our Lisa, and I'll bring it right up, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see where I'm placing it. And then you can just use your arrows and just adjust it. So now I have it basically in the middle of my offset. So when I do place it, it is going to give me just a little bit of margin for error when I do layer that together. And do any of you already layer your FDC vinyl? Do any of you know a really easy way to make sure you aligned it correctly? Okay, so it looks like a couple of you do, but a few of you don't. Yeah, Beth, you are on top of things. I feel like you're just in here to give me moral support right now. Oh, wear my glasses, says Tia. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, yes, you can make registration marks basically. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Lisa and put it down here. And I am going to make not the registration marks that Select gives you, but we're making our own. So I'm going to make, let me go back. Let me get rid of this square. I am really picky about my shapes. So I'm going to hold down Shift and make sure I make a perfect square. I'm going to make a square, and that's about the size that I want. I'm going to grab my Select tool, and I'm just going to fill it in. I'll make it black, registration-y. And I think it's probably a little big, so I'm going to shrink it down. So now that's what I want, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it. You can duplicate it as well. It's all a matter of preference. So whatever you'd like to do is definitely going to work out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these registration marks, and these are just to give you an anchor. You're definitely not going to give someone a gift or sell a product that has these big squares above it. It's kind of weird. So this is basically for when we cut. So now we have our image here. And so now we can go back to our advanced settings. And so over here to our cut settings, we hit advanced, and we're going to do by fill color. So now we have our registration marks up here. And this is something that you will cut with every other one of your cuts, because this is how you know how to align it. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut my heart first. So I have my black selected and my pink. And if you go over here, I'll zoom in. Now you can see that it is cutting around my name. So now when I place it down, all of this vinyl will be touching the surface that I want it to be on. So we don't have to worry about getting bumps. Like, let's say you are putting this on like a tumbler or something. The more it's being held, the more it's being handled in and out of bags, the higher it is, the higher likelihood you have of it coming off. But when you have it touching straight on to your object, then it kind of stays a little bit better. So then we would cut our heart, and so let's go bring it through our silhouette, and you have that noise, so it's gonna go and cut it. And then the next part, you would just go ahead and select your black and your blue. So then you're gonna cut this, and then we'll unselect that, and then select our teal. And so this next part, I'll have to explain to you with my words, because I don't have a webcam feed. But basically what you do is you'll grab these registration marks, and I always like to get an old carrier sheet that I have, or something that my vinyl has been on before that it won't permanently stick to. And my preference is to start with the larger pieces first. I know that some of my colleagues like to start off with the more detailed ones, and it's all a matter of preference for you. But what you do is you just put your design down, and the first one you just put it wherever it's easiest, and you just make sure you have your registration marks down. So you take your transfer paper, put your design down, take your transfer paper off, and then you go with your next layer. So our next layer would be this teal and black, and you would just take that, and your registration marks will be cut out in the teal as well. You just put your box right on top of these, put your vinyl down, take the carrier sheet off, and repeat again until you have all of your layers down. And so once you have all your layers down, you can take your last piece of transfer tape and pick all of it up and put it on whatever you want. So that's kind of a quick overview with how to use the subtract feature so you can layer your designs. I can show you a few more ways to do it, or a few more designs, but I know this is a shorter webinar, so if you all have any questions about it, or if you want me to go over a specific part of it, feel free to let me know. You know, I do this pretty often, so in my head I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but you know, sometimes I do talk fast. I do hear that I speak quickly, so feel free to type in any more questions you have, or if you wanted me to try with any other designs, or if you wanted me to just go over something different. So, oh yes, I did see that some of you were creating separate sets of registration marks for each color. Yes, you know, it's really funny the things you learn that you thought that once you find out they're so obvious. Like, do you guys know how to put in your own specific material type in your settings? Like, do you know how to put in custom cut settings? Did you know you could do that? Okay, so it looks like, oh, you're all saying yes. So it looks like I was the one who didn't know. I'm over here getting so upset that I have to retype in my settings every time I cut a certain thing. And then I found out that I could just put them in. So, you know, it's a really fun thing to do. I like doing the layering effects. Did you guys want me to try another design, or did you have any other questions? I know that we have a kind of a smaller webinar today, and I recognize a lot of your names, so I know that a lot of you have been in my webinars before and you kind of know my style. So hold on, I think I have to cough. Oh, excuse me. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Have any of you, are any of you in the Texas area, or any of you going to the Arlington show with Matt? Oh, I'm sorry I hit that. Okay, so it looks like a lot of you, some of you are, some of you aren't. Yeah, we're getting some pictures in from the show. It looks like a lot of fun. Oh, some of you, oh, you're going to the Atlanta show? That'll be a lot of fun. So yes, this is kind of how you layer vinyl. If you have any questions here, feel free to give us a call here over at the Rhinestone World, 941-755-1696. Tia, I hope at Long Beach they get to do classes. Let's look. I think we are doing classes. I'm going to pull up our website. While I have you in here, this is our new website. If you go to show schedule and passes, every show that we have a class, we'll have it listed. So down here in Long Beach, down here, yeah, it looks like we have 2 free classes in Long Beach. So I know that they're looking forward to it. And if you're going to Long Beach, make sure you wear your TRW Bling Diva shirt. You know, so if you don't have your Bling Diva shirt, just make sure you order it, and we'll send it with your next item that includes shipping, or you can pay the shipping on it as well. But I know Matt's really looking forward to seeing all of you. I wanted to show you over here on our calendar before I let you go. We do have a few more webinars scheduled. If down here, I do have a webinar scheduled on Friday. I'm going to talk about knockout design. That's very similar to what we did today with our subtract feature. It'll be a nice little refresher. You're more than welcome to come in there. I'd love to see you in there. And one thing I really wanted to highlight to you is that I know a lot of you have a hard time going to the lounge because it's during the day, and a lot of you are either at your day job or maybe you're taking care of your kids in the morning, because we do like to do them at 10:30 Eastern time. Over here we have our Tier W lounge, and we actually scheduled this later. So we have it May 27th at 7:30 p.m. We have our Tier W lounge, and that'll be something. I believe Matt will be there, but Rudy and myself will absolutely be in there. I know that a lot of times you try to get. Oh, that's on your birthday! Happy birthday, Wendy! Soon, happy birthday. We try to get me in there every now and then. I am the marketing manager for the Rhinestone World, and my background is in doing social media marketing. I was at an agency for a little bit, and I had we worked with a lot of smaller businesses like all of you. So I try to go in there and kind of give you some ideas on how to use social media to market your company and different ways that you can help. So I would really love to see you in our Tier W lounge, and you can always ask questions about the software or products, or even anything that has to do with your business or our business. So yeah, we have that coming up, and if you ever want to know what webinars we have coming, you can always go to our website and check out the calendar. And one last thing before I let you go is that I'm always trying to learn new things, and I love trying to figure out how to make something easier and better for you all. So if you ever want to figure out how to do something in your silhouette, maybe there's a better way to do it, or maybe you just want a refresher or see someone work on something, give us an email, info@therhinestoneworld.com, right on our Facebook page, or even call us. And we are up, working on getting some other like videos out too on our YouTube channel. So if you ever want to see a tutorial video, please let us know. I'd be more than happy to do that. Did you guys have any other questions before I let you go? I know this was like a quick webinar. It's almost like a break webinar, like your break off of work. So I like it because I get to, chat with all of you and work in silhouette and do a lot of fun stuff. But did any of you have any other questions before I let you go? Okay. It looks like we're pretty good. And Beth, I'm so glad. Yes, I think Beth had said, she loves being able to go back and refresh her memory. Yes, I think that's one of the things that I like most, is to do things. And even though I know how to do it, to watch it and really refresh my memory and kind of give myself that jolt back into doing it. So, but yeah, I hope all of you have a good day. Hopefully I'll see you in our webinar on Friday. And if you're going to be anywhere near Arlington, Texas, go over and say hi to the crew over at MBM Arlington. So all of you have a good day, have a good afternoon, and we'll see you sometime soon.